All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something we all have but can never, ever get more of, and that's time. We'll be digging into this really powerful idea of what it means to be a steward of our own time.
You've heard this a million times, right? Time is gold. It's a classic saying, and it's so universal. It's our go-to way of saying, hey, this stuff is valuable. But what if that's not the full story? What if it's actually missing the mark? Well, think about it. If you lose gold, you can, in theory, get more. You can work for it, find it, earn it back. But time? Nah, that's a one-way ticket. Once a second is gone, it is gone. Forever. And that's what makes it so much more precious than, well, anything you can hold in your hand. Okay, so let's get into our first big idea here. Why time is more precious than gold, and what it means that it's so, well, finite. I love this image. Just picture an old church clock tower, right? Its hands just keep turning day in, day out in endless circles. But then there's you walking past it on the street. For that clock, it's just another Tuesday. For you, another day of your life has just ticked by. It really highlights this huge difference between endless mechanical time and our own very personal, very limited time. And that feeling, you know the one, that sense that time is just slipping through your fingers, it naturally makes you ask some big questions, doesn't it? Like, if this stuff is so valuable and we've only got so much of it, what are we supposed to do with it? What's the whole point? Well, to start answering that, this perspective we're looking at introduces a fascinating idea, the idea of God's two clocks. And that brings us to understanding these two key concepts, Chronos and Kairos. All right, first up is Chronos. This is the time we all live and breathe every single day. It's the clock ticking on your wall, the alarm on your phone. It's just 1 second after another, 1 hour after another. It's the time you can measure, the time that just marches on.
But then there's Kairos. And this is a whole different ballgame. Kairos isn't about counting the seconds. It's about making the seconds count. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality. It's that perfect moment, that window of opportunity, a moment that feels significant, where you can see a deeper purpose at play. It's when time isn't just passing, it's actually being fulfilled.
So let's just break it down really simply. Chronos is the stopwatch time. It's quantitative. Kairos is the meaningful moment. It's qualitative. Chronos is what's on your calendar. Kairos is about a divine purpose unfolding. See the difference?
Now, here's the really cool part. These aren't two separate tracks. The idea is that we're living in both at the exact same time. All of our everyday chrono stuff, commuting, making dinner, all of it, that's all happening within this larger, more purposeful timeline of Kairos. It's like our little story is part of a much, much bigger one. Once you start seeing time this way, it really changes how you think about your responsibility, which leads us perfectly into our next part, the steward's responsibility. If time is this incredible gift, what does it mean to take care of it? Okay, so from this point of view, the time you have, it isn't really yours in the first place. It's a gift on loan from God. And just like if someone trusts you with something incredibly valuable, you have a responsibility, right? You're not the owner, you're the steward. You're supposed to manage it wisely. A great way to understand this is through the parable of the talents. So the story goes, a master gives 3 of his servants some money. Back then it was called talents, before he leaves on a long trip. 2 of the servants get right to it. They invest it and they double it. But the third guy, he gets scared. He just digs a hole and buries it. When the master comes back, well, it's time for everyone to account for what they did. And this is where it all clicks together. The talents in that story aren't just about money. They're a metaphor for everything we've been given, especially our time. The real question the parable asks isn't how much did you start with, it's what did you do with it? Did you make it grow or did you just bury it? So yeah, this idea of accountability is huge here. The perspective is that at the end of the day, there's a kind of final accounting, and it all boils down to a couple of pretty direct questions. How did you use the time I gave you? And did you live faithfully during that time? Okay, so if that's the goal, how do we actually do it? How do we become good stewards? That brings us to our final section, which is a super practical guide, 3 rules for time. It's actually pretty straightforward. Number 1 is connect. This means intentionally carving out time, your regular Chronos time, to connect with God. Number 2 is prepare. This is all about realizing that what you do today matters for tomorrow. It's about living with purpose, not just letting the clock run out. And finally, number 3, serve. Use your time for something bigger than just yourself, something that helps other people and serves God's purpose. And what's the payoff for living like this? Well, it's pretty big. A life with no regrets. I mean, think about it. When you spend your time on something that's bigger than just you, it gives your life a kind of meaning that nothing can ever really erase. So let's just leave it with this final thought, bringing it all full circle. If your life was an account book and every single moment was a transaction, what would that ledger say? When it's all said and done, what will it show you spent your most precious, unget-backable resource on? It's a heavy question, but definitely one worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.